Welcome to Alumni Hall, the most expensive dorm at NYU. How expensive, you ask? I'll be revealing the cost at the end of the video so you can decide if it's worth it or not. Alumni Hall is a dorm for upperclassmen and graduate students, so unfortunately, freshmen can't live here until their second year. Alumni is also very unique because it is the only NYU dorm with 100% single rooms. This means that if you get into Alumni, you are guaranteed to have your own room by yourself. This is one of the reasons why Alumni is very popular and competitive despite its price. Keep in mind though that these single rooms all come in suites, so while you won't have any roommates, you will have suite mates who you'll share the common area, kitchen, and washroom with. Suites with 2 people are the most common, meaning you'll have only 1 other person living with you. However, there are suites that house 3 people and even rarely 4 people, and that would be my case. I currently live in a 4-person suite. If you're curious about what Alumni's rooms and suites look like, I've already made a detailed video about that, so you can go check it out above. In this video, I'll be showing you the facilities within Alumni and the building as a whole, as well as the surroundings. Let's start with the ground floor. To enter the dorm, you have to pass through the turnstile by tapping your NYU ID, just like every other dorm. You'll be greeted by the lobby and the 2 elevators that move busily throughout the day. You'll also notice a printer next to the elevators, and this is very useful if you need to print something quickly for class. Looking around, you'll also see the Resource Center. The Resource Center is open from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. and is the go-to place whenever you need any sort of assistance. Locked out of your room? Then you can ask the Resource Center for a temporary spare key. Need to pick up a package? Then you can swipe your ID and receive your package because everything delivered to Alumni always ends up at the Resource Center. Next to the Resource Center, you will see a rack with a lot of toilet paper. This is all free to take and use because one of the perks of living in a dorm is that you can have an endless amount of toilet paper. On the other side, you will see an array of mailboxes. Each individual room is assigned its own mailbox, so you can occasionally go downstairs and check if you got mail. Continuing down the hallway, you'll come across the lounge. This lounge is a pretty spacious place and a nice area to hang out or do homework with your friends, or whatever else you like to do. There are some computers which you can use, and also some vending machines. That's all for the first floor. Before we head upstairs, let's first go down to the basement. You can use any of the 3 staircases to reach the basement. There's a water fountain down there where you can fill up your water bottle, and there's also an area where employees rest. But people really go down to the basement to do one main thing: laundry. There's a mini laundromat at Alumni, and although there are many washing machines and dryers, apparently some people don't understand the function of timers and fail to get their clothes out in time. So sometimes all machines are occupied. I suggest doing laundry earlier in the day, like morning, because it's nearly impossible at night. Let's head upstairs now. Alumni is 16 stories high and has around 450 residents. Each floor looks pretty much the same, so I'll be showing the 5th floor, which is where I live, as an example. Starting from my room at the end of the hall, you have to go down all the way to get to the elevators. On the way, you'll see that a lot of the doors have circular plaques on them. These plaques have names of NYU alumni engraved in them, and this is why the dorm is called Alumni Hall. There are several doors that lead to staircases, but you should know that only staircase A leads to the lobby. If you try to use anything else, you will run into an alarmed door, and you will have to go back. A lot of floors also have RAs, or resident assistants, living there, and their rooms are specially marked with a purple door. Even though RAs would usually live alone in other dorms, like freshman dorms, there's no exception for alumni. Even RAs get suite mates. Finally, you'll arrive at the elevators. Going beyond that, you'll find a trash chute where you can put your trash in, and then you can go further down the hallway where there are more rooms. On some floors, there are study lounges at the very end of the hallway, and it's a pretty small and comfy place if you want to study anywhere else than your room. That's really it for each floor's characteristics. There's nothing more to show other than the prohibited doors that lead to the rooftop on the higher floors. So now you might be wondering, well, this dorm is pretty basic and just like the others. Why is it so expensive? Again, part of the reason is that everyone gets to live alone here without a roommate, which is a big win. But in my opinion, Alumni isn't expensive because of what's inside the building, but rather what's outside. Location-wise, Alumni is at a pretty good place on the intersection of 3rd Avenue and 9th Street, making the walk to campus less than 10 minutes. For me who walks fast, I can get to Stern in 7 to 8 minutes. Now, if you know how close freshman dorms are to campus, you might be thinking that Alumni Hall isn't close at all. After all, out of all freshman dorms, 3rd North is the furthest, and Alumni Hall is only a block away from 3rd North. That's a good point, but you need to remember that freshman dorms were intentionally built near campus so freshmen can move around easily and quickly. Comparing Alumni Hall to other upperclassmen dorms, you'll start to appreciate how close Alumni is. Distance-wise, Alumni is one of the closest, and it's almost impossible to get any closer. Yes, some people even live down south here or up north there, which are much further distances to walk. Imagine living in Lafayette, which is in Chinatown, and walking nearly 4 kilometers back and forth for classes every day. for a year. Yeah, no thanks. This is a pretty big reason why alumni gets a huge point in my book. On a tiring day after school, it really comes down to how quickly you can get back to your room, and alumni is obviously one of the best choices. But you can tell alumni is a pretty good place without even comparing it to others. For instance, H-Mart. H-Mart is right below alumni, and I'm not exaggerating when I say it takes 10 seconds to walk there. If you like Korean food and like cooking, then shopping at H-Mart becomes an absolute breeze. Whenever I tell people I live at alumni, one thing they tend to envy the most is the fact that we practically live in H-Mart. Plus, it's open from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., making it incredibly convenient whenever you need to buy something super quickly. For some, H-Mart might be a big reason enough to want to live at alumni. Diagonal from alumni, there's also Shake Shack, the only one nearby without having to walk all the way to Greenwich Village or the Flatiron District. And trust me, I've gone here multiple times whenever I was too lazy to get food. Just the fact that it's so close to my dorm makes it seem like it's begging to be visited. Nearby, there's also VV's Bubble Tea, a pretty nice bubble tea shop in my opinion, contrary to many others' opinions. Don't forget to show your student ID to get a free size upgrade. Another great place is The Bean, a nice cafe that's great whenever you want to grab a quick snack or drink or meet up with someone. Right next to The Bean is a Japanese mart called Sunrise Mart, so if you want to go beyond H-Mart for Asian food, then you can find it right here. Another great perk of living at alumni is that St. Mark's Place is right beside us. St. Mark's has many good restaurants, always crowded during weekends because people love it here. Let me give a few examples. Boca is a pretty nice Korean restaurant to eat at if you don't want to go all the way to K-Town. And let's be honest here, who really wants to go through the hassle of taking the subway to K-Town when you want to eat right now? I've gone here a lot of times to the point where the waiters recognize me and know who I am, which comes with several good perks as well. So I guess I've become a regular here. Udon St. Mark's is right next door and is a very cheap udon restaurant. With $15 or so, you can get yourself a bowl of udon, curry rice, and a plate of cutlets. And if you think that's not worth the price, then I don't know what else would be. Ray's Pizza is at the entrance of St. Mark's. Sure, it's a good pizza place and all, but it's pretty expensive honestly. Let's compare that to Two Bros deeper down in St. Mark's, where they sell a slice of cheese pizza for $1 and pepperoni for $2. I sometimes go here late at night whenever I'm hungry because they're open till very late in the weekends. And how could we forget bubble tea? There's Kung Fu Tea, which I really like. There's Xing Fu Tang, which can be slightly pricey, but people like it anyways. Next to Ray's Pizza, there's also a place called Moga Tea, which I also like. Combined with VV's Bubble Tea, that's already 4 places nearby where you can get bubble tea. Insane. I don't think I've even listed half or even a quarter of the restaurants that exist on St. Mark's. The point is, you should pay this place a visit in the near future to see for yourself, because it'd be quite impossible for me to cover everything in this video. Moving a block away from St. Mark's, you'll come across Astor Place, the square with the large spinning cube. Having Astor Place nearby is also a great reason to live at alumni. There's a CVS right here for your convenience, keeping your walks to buy something you need right now very short. There's a Starbucks across the street that you can go to. And speaking of bubble tea earlier, there's yet another bubble tea place nearby called The Alley, which a lot of people like. Right next to it, there's a stationery store called Muji, which is considered to be pretty good quality. Also, a little side note, there's a food truck near Astor Place right next to CVS, which is open till very late. So if you want a late night snack, this is also a go-to place. I think the best thing about Astor Place though is the subway stations. The Astor Place station for the 6th train is right here, making traveling pretty convenient. Not to mention the 8th Street NYU station only a block away as well. In other words, alumni is good even for catching the subway. Other things to note is that if you have a dining plan while living at alumni, then don't fear. The 3rd North Dining Hall is only a block away, and Palladium is only another block further upwards. So using your meal plan while living at alumni will not be a problem at all. And finally, it's time to reveal the price. As of spring 2022, Alumni Hall costs nearly $12,000 per semester, or $24,000 per year. Despite the price, I think alumni is pretty worth the price. It is the best features that any dorm can have, especially in its surroundings. Living here just makes everything super convenient, whether it's shopping at H-Mart, getting a quick sip of bubble tea, and most importantly, walking to school in less than 10 minutes. I hope you enjoyed this little sneak peek, and remember, all of this can be yours if you live at alumni. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed, please leave a like down below, comment down what you think, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already to catch more of these NYU related videos. I'll see you next time.